All right, everybody. 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins here. Update on the tropics for our Tuesday afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. We are clearly heating up the tropics a little bit, where we have, three different waves that we're actually watching. Potential tropical cyclone 2. Not quite named yet, but kind of, right? It's got a track. Watching that one. Not going to be concerned. Looks like southern Caribbean. We've also got the western parts. We've also got the Western Caribbean that we're watching, Western Gulf of Mexico that we're watching. That system's going to head towards Texas. Don't think it's a big deal, but certainly a rainmaker for them. And then we've got a tropical wave that's out in the central Atlantic, and that is going to be drifting back off towards the west just a little bit. So that's something that we'll keep an eye on as we go through the next 24 hours or so. So let's watch it here. I'm going to start with that look of the whole basin so you can see what's going on. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now let's go into the percentages. This is the outlook that the Hurricane Center issues, and they've bumped it up to about 40% chance now for this wave off of Texas. That's the one in the Western Gulf of Mexico. That's going to just drift off to the west. I'll show you that. Obviously no threat to us here in Florida. Potential tropical cyclone 2, that's the L you see down there, right? That is the one that looks like it's just going to continue to go right across the southern, right into Central America, right in that direction. This one here, it's like a little rough. They're saying about 20% chance to develop out in here in the Windward Islands, potentially moving something up here like this, but most of the modeling's not really doing much with it, so not too concerned about that. Now, this is the latest look at PTC2, 40-mile-per-hour winds, moving to the west at 23 miles per hour. These things are moving. Looks to me like it's a little bit better organized this afternoon. You can see some convection there. And in fact, I'm gonna stop. The center to me looks like it's right in here, and you've got some pretty good outflow going on to these areas as well. So looks like it's trying to get its act together. Models aren't doing too much with it until it gets later this weekend over into the Western Caribbean towards Central America. There's a visible satellite of it. Lots of moisture around to work with. There is some shear. Most of that shear is up in this area up here, up to the north. So it's trying. It's fighting a little bit of it. I think it's got a small chance for doing it. And so does the Hurricane Center. Here we go with their forecast. Let's go out. I want to move this just a little bit here to Thursday morning. And now we're looking at 45-mile-per-hour wind. So it really doesn't do much until late tomorrow night into Thursday before it starts to strengthen a little bit. And then by the time we get towards Friday, into Friday afternoon, Friday night, Saturday morning, could be a hurricane. We could actually get a hurricane out of this as it moves into Central America. So it looks like Nicaragua more than anything else. I don't think it's any kind of a threat for us here in the United States. But something for them to watch as we get through the center part of the weekend, and then continues to fall apart. We'll watch it on the west side. It'll fall apart over land, of course, but we'll watch it on the west side when it gets out of the Pacific. I don't expect a whole lot out of that. This is the two models, and you know what? By the time I made this, it's updated a little bit. Bottom line is, see the X and the two X's, GFS is the white, Euro's the yellow. Both of those should be right there. It's really good agreement right now, and this is Friday, July 1st. So both models have it over here in the Western Caribbean, low in the Caribbean, and headed towards Nicaragua by the time we get towards Saturday, into Saturday night. So there we go. That's the look for the models. It's always good when you have a lot of agreement with the models, because then you're not worried about it. And in this case, we're not worried about it at all just because where it is. But if we can keep this trend going where we end up with the models seeing kind of the same thing through the hurricane season, that would be nice. We know it's not going to happen, right? All right, Invest 95. This is the one obviously south of Louisiana. You can see where the center is now. Not very well organized, but there is a weak low that has developed. I've got the winds on here. You can see that the winds kind of have the center over here. All the convection's up here. The Hurricane Center has got the center right here. So certainly not a very well organized. 25-mile-per-hour winds at this point. I just don't think right now that there's a really good chance this develops. I do think the pressures will lower a little bit. It's 1,014 right now. It will lower. It's likely going to end up somewhere over in here like this. It's going to go southwest before it turns west. So it'll probably be down really south of Houston. In fact, take a look at this. This is the GFS model, and that is tomorrow morning, and it's got the center right in here. Okay, there's Brownsville right there. It's got the center well to the south, so it's going to have to go from here to here. We'll see. But notice is this onshore flow. Very warm tropical. Now you're Houstonian, San Antonian, Texas person. That humidity they get in South Texas, Southeast Texas.
Intense, brutal. It's like a swamp.
Yeah, and they're going to get a lot of that. But you notice where most of the rain appears to be from Houston southward. In fact, it's probably a little bit more of a bubble down there towards Corpus Christi than anything else. That was Thursday. This is Friday morning. Look at all this moisture still coming on shore. And then I think Friday night and the Saturday is when things actually start to dry up. This is the core of the tropical moisture there, but still an onshore flow. So friends or family in Southeast Texas celebrating 4th of July this weekend. For me, it looks like the biggest effects will be Thursday night and Friday more than anything else. I ran this out through 3 o'clock on Saturday. There's Houston, of course, Corpus Christi. You can see this area right in between here has about 2 to 4 inches. Don't trust these numbers at this point, but what I'm trying to find out is, are there any patterns here? Are we going to each run put the core of the rain right in here in the middle, which likely is what's going to happen. I'd certainly say 2 to 4. I've seen it anywhere from 2 to 3, but with these types of systems, you can get a heavy downpour and give you that much rain in a short period of time. Let's talk our weather real fast. Locally, we have some storms that will be developing east of I-75 this afternoon and then pushing back towards the coast tonight. Pretty decent coverage, similar to what we saw last night. I think a little bit more north of I-4. Pinellas got it real good. Tomorrow, we'll start with a few storms. You can see them here along the coast, 2, 3 o'clock. But notice it's just a little less coverage altogether. Same pattern, right? They push from west to east. But you see around 8:30, 9:30, it's just not quite the coverage that we saw yesterday or we'll see today. Then we get into Thursday. I kind of bumped the rain chances back up. We'll have, even by 1 to 2 o'clock, pretty decent chances right along the coast with the sea breeze, and then storms try and push back again. So pretty typical pattern, and in fact, that will take us all the way through Labor Day.
4th of July.
So Labor Day weekend is like the end of the summer. I don't know why I'm doing that. That's my bad. I am not trying to do that to you. 4th of July weekend, right? Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Fireworks time right now, a little too far out to be specifics, obviously, but the pattern looks very, very similar. So I-75 westward, 7, 8, 9 o'clock for those showers and storms. Usually what happens is we end up getting storms on 4th of July, but most of the time they dry up just in time. We maybe get the fireworks off by about 9:15, 9:30 or so. So hopefully that will be the case. And of course, we will keep you updated on that. Tropics right now, look, I don't see anything in the long range models that threaten us going out a week and a half, 2 weeks. I mean, that's, you don't really trust the models that far out. Let me see. I had something else here I could show you. All right, let's look at the GFS. Coming across, this is Friday. So this area down in here, you see there, Western Caribbean, that's PTC2. Barely see anything over here in Texas, so no deepening of pressure. So obviously there it is. That's potential hurricane. We're in the hurricane center there. Now let's go out in the next week. This is Monday, and what you see is this big ridge here, big ridge of high pressure. So things kind of float underneath it and around that. And right now they're pretty much protecting Florida, although it is backing down by the time we get towards the end of next week. But not seeing anything really popping up here on the model. European's very similar with location of the high and development of low pressures. There's not a lot going on at this particular point. Not a lot of dust in the air. The SAL layer is not, well, yes. The sand is not a lot up in the sky. So we'll keep the atmosphere relatively moist in our neck of the woods. There's still a couple batches coming off of Africa. So the central Atlantic, the eastern Atlantic still has a lot of dust in the air up there. And things will stay relatively dry. But if you've noticed, PTC2 really started getting its act together over here, not over here. And a lot of that had to do with some of the dust that's there. So far, so good. We will take, well, if you got to get the numbers, right, for the season, a certain number of storms, let's just keep them weak and keep them away from us. And so far, that's been the case. So we'll keep hoping for the best. Thanks, guys, for checking in. 10 Tampa Bay at 5 o'clock. We've got a lot going on today. There's a big fire in South Tampa. Well, I guess I can show you. What am I thinking here? Armature Works. We've got a crew on it. It's been burning for a while. Quite a bit of smoke as well, too. It's an apartment building. If you have our app, we sent a push alert to you. And so you can check out that, and all the latest information is on the app. Let me see if I can pull up this camera real fast just to give you an idea of what it looks like. It looks like they've actually starting to get a little bit more of a hold on it. Yeah, it might be tough for you to see here. Yeah, it's right in there. So, yeah, it's kind of tough to see. I'm just kind of circling. Definitely a lot less smoke than what we've seen throughout the afternoon. So it looks like they got it under control. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you at 5 o'clock this afternoon. Take care.